welcome to my channel. So today we will see how to test a React application with help of Jest and React testing library. So friend, to understand that, I have created this simple counter application that has a very simple functionality. So when we click on this increment button, the value of the counter will be increased by 1, and when we click on this decrement button, the value will be decreased by 1. Okay. So friend, we will be using Jest and React testing library. So before starting, we will just briefly see that what is Jest and what is React testing library, and then we will jump to write code test cases for our this counter application. Okay. So let me just first open this Jest website so that you get a feel what Jest actually is. Okay. So friend, as you can see, Jest is a delightful JavaScript testing framework for with a focus on simplicity. So Jest is a JavaScript testing framework, friends, and with help of Jest we test JavaScript code. Okay, so let's go to the documentation here. As you can see, they have provided, okay, a very simple example that how we can start testing our code. Okay, so we will just follow to get a feel that how Jest works. Okay, so first they have told that we need to install this Jest, okay, for testing our application. So friends, I will first I will install this, okay, in a empty folder. Okay, I will just install. I have, okay, I have installed it. Now it is installing in the background. Let's see. Then what we need to do, first we need to get this code that we need to test. Okay, so this is a very simple code that takes two values, a and b, and return sum of it. Okay, so we will create this sum.js file. Okay, so here we come and create this sum.js. Okay, I will just paste this, and friend, then we will copy the test case for this. So friends, I have copied this and I will paste in sum.test.js. So friends, our test file and in test.js. Okay, so see this, I have done this, and after that friends, I will use this package.json. Okay, so this package.json, friends, here we need to describe our script. So friends, since Jest is not installed globally, so it is not available on our command line yet. Okay, so see this Jest command is not found. So friend, with to use this Jest with help of npm, we need to write a script that is test. Okay, so when we will run npm test, then this script will like start Jest. Okay, so let's go and start run our test first. So they have told, as they have told us to run npm test, friends. Okay, so I have run this npm test. Okay, so friends, now let's see what actually how this test is working, friends. So as you can see, just uh, is used for running our test cases. Okay, so also let's try to understand how this what are these things in this. So friend, this test, this is used to describe that, this is used to create a test. Okay, so when we call this test function, okay, then what we are providing, first we provide with the description of the test, that what actually we are testing here. Okay, then we provide this callback, and here we can write our test. Okay, so here we have just, what we have done is just simply call this sum function with 1 and 2, and then we are expecting it to be 3. Okay, so here this line is expecting something to be equal to something is called assertion. So Jest helps us with assertions. Okay, so Jest has many methods that helps us to assert, and also Jest helps us to run our code. Okay, so this is basic usage of Jest. Okay, so friends, also if you can see, if I change this to 5, our test will start failing. Okay, and it will show that expected 5, but it received 3. So here we have expected that it should return 5, but actually the code is returning 3. Okay, so that is the correct behavior. Sum of 1 and 2 is 3 only, but we have expected 5. The expectation is wrong, friends. So what we need to do, we need to change it true. And suppose for some reason someone comes here and changes our code and do it like adds one additional plus, and if we start testing, then what will happen, friend? Our test will fail. Okay, so as you can see, it says that okay, where is it? Okay, it expected 3, but it received 4. Okay, so it the value got increased by 1 because of this change we made. Okay, so this is how Jest help. Now what is the use of React testing library, friends? We will quickly go and start exploring what is the use of React testing library. So friend, let's open this website. of React testing library again. So what React testing library suggests is that you should uh, test your code in a way that is independent to the implementation. So no matter how the code is written for your React component and how it is gets changed, as long as we have the same result, okay, we have the same result on our DOM or our application, so our application performs consistently in a consistent manner, then our test will not break and we should be confident. Okay, so this is what it tells. Okay, the more your test resemble the way your software is used, the more confidence they can give you. Okay, so this means that it tells us that we need to test our application in a way user uses our application. Okay, so let's see here. um, Rather than dealing with instances of rendered React components, your test will work with actual DOM nodes. So friends, in our test environment, we will be using actual DOM nodes. So for actual DOM nodes, using actual DOM nodes, friends, React testing library will provide a way so that we will be able to render uh, our React components in actual DOM. Okay, and also it will provide us with query. Okay, query, so that we will be able to query the DOM elements. So let us go to this testingplayground.com that has been provided by this React testing library only. So as you can see, here is the rendered React component by React testing library. Okay, and this is the visualization how this is like this is rendered on UI or browser. Okay, so friends, you can see that React testing library helped us to render our component. Okay, now also you can see here that it provides us with query. So see this, if we want to access this input element, enter email, then we can use this query. By clicking on it, we can get the query, that what query, by what query we can uh, find our elements, and we can perform some user action on it. Okay, so I think you have got some idea. We'll start writing our test case, and I think you will get better idea. Okay, so let's start writing our first test. Okay, so all right. So here we are in our counter application, friends. I will quickly explain you how this is working, how the file is structure is. Okay, so as you can see, friend, this is very simple. There are these two buttons. The one is the decrement button and one is increment button, and this is the count. Okay, see, this is the div that contains the count that we have stored in this state. Okay, so friends, now what we need to do, as a React testing library tells us to do. uh, okay, so we will start testing in that manner only, but before that I need to tell you that when we create a React application with Jest and React testing library, then uh, sorry, when we create a React application with help of create React application CRA, then Jest and React testing library all already configured. Okay, so we can simply just write our test with write our test, and we can for writing our test we need to use a file name that ends with test.js. Okay, now React will sorry, Jest will know that this index.test.js is a testing file. Okay, so we'll start writing our first test. Okay, so let's see describe. Okay, and then in describe, what is this describe, friend? This describe is a global function that is provided by Jest. Okay, and describe is used to group similar test cases. Okay, so what we'll say, we'll say that test counter. Okay, we will say that it test counter application. Okay, okay friends, now it takes a callback. Okay, and here what we will do, we will write test cases. Okay, so this is our test, and in test also similar, we need to describe what we are testing. So we will just simply test that renders counter component without breaking. Okay, okay friends, so okay, so we will simply, what we will do, we will use this render from React testing library. So as I explained, this React testing library will help us to render our React component in a DOM tree. Okay, so I will just import this counter and render. Okay, now friends, we will run our test. Okay, so npm test. Okay, as you can see, friends, our test passed. Okay, But friends, you might be thinking that what is the use of render this. So friend, this is very simple test. It does not assert anything, but this can be useful. Suppose tomorrow by some mistake, user or not user, developer comes and deletes it, or it gets deleted by some mistake. uh, so in that case, a developer will be able to find that there is some error, because the test will start failing. Okay, and you can see we can see why the test is failing. Okay, so user can come and fix it. Okay, so this is the purpose of this test. Now friend, as I told you that this render method renders our React component in a DOM. Okay, so React testing library also provides us a way by which we can actually see on our browser that how this rendered component looks like actually. So let's uh, quickly see how we can do that. Okay, so I will just import this screen object from React testing library, and then there is this method log testing playground URL. Okay, so this will just give us a URL that we can open, and on that URL we can see that how this rendered counter component looks. Okay friends, I will just open it. Okay, now you can see this is how it looks. Now you might be thinking friends that why in this our counter application this UI looks like styled, but here it looks very simple. Okay, so reason is friends that when we have rendered this, we have done the styling with help of this style components, and style components is not installed or present here. Okay, it is just showing us the simple markup. Okay, HTML markup. Now friends, we can also see our HTML structure here also. So this is div, and here is our first button, as you can see. Okay, and then this is our div where we have rendered our count value, and then here is the next button. Okay, so as we have provided in our component. Okay, counter component. So friends, now let's go ahead and start writing our next test. Okay, so friend, uh, in this test we will test that it increments the value by 1 when increment button is clicked. Okay, so when we click this increment button, the value should increase by, counter value should be increased by 1. So for doing this friends, we need to do few things. First we need to do that, we need to find what exactly is the count value before clicking on this button. Okay, then again what we need to do next is to find this button and then click on it, and then again we need to check the content of this. Okay, so first thing let's do is find this div. Okay, so I will not use this query provided by this, because by if we do this, then what may happen is that there might be some other thing also that can have zeroed as a text content. Okay, get by text. So it is just get by text query friends works on basis of what text present in the element. Okay, so this DOM node. Okay, so in this div 0 is present, so it is suggesting this query, but we will not use this. Instead, in our component, if I show you, I have used in this div data test id. Okay, data test id counter. Okay, so we will use this test id for. So this is an attribute that we have provided, and this is by this attribute we will be able to query this div in our test. Let me show you how. Okay, so what I will do, first I will do, we will get const count div, and I will how will I will find, I will use screen, this screen variable again, and then what I will do, I will get by test id. Okay, I will use this test id, and I will use this counter that I have already provided here. Okay, data test id. So this attribute, this method will use this get by test id method will use this data test id attribute, and we give us this div. Okay, now I will find cost count value before click. Okay, and we how what will be that, that will be equal to, I will parse int. Okay, parse int, and how we will find get the value, we will use this count div dot text content. Okay, now we have got this value, so we can also console in our test and say, so we will see count value before click, and it should be 0 friends. Okay, because we haven't done anything. Okay, so okay, as you see, some test failed for some reason. Get by test id counter. Okay, so data test id counter, so it tells us that it is not able to find. So let's see, there seems to be some issue, but as we can see friends, there is this counter present. So why this is error is there, let's try to find out. um, okay, unable to find element by data test id is equal to counter. Is there any issue friends? Doesn't look like data test id is equal to counter is okay. Test id. Okay, let me run the test again, maybe it will fix. Oh, okay friends, okay, what we have done, the mistake is we have not rendered here. Okay, so first we need to render for that. Okay, in the test, so we will render this and then we will be able to find. Okay, let's run the test again. Yeah, so when we run the test again friends, you can see console.log and the value is 0. Okay, now what we need to do, the next we need to do is find our this button. Okay, so how will you find that button friends? We will simply use this query. I have copied this query from here, so I clicked on this button and then copied this thing. Okay, so const increment button is equal to, I will paste this query. Okay, now what we can do, we will click this button. Okay, how we do that, we use this fire event method. Okay, that is provided us by, and what we do, we will just pass fire event and we will use its click method. Okay, this fire event this fire event object, we will use the click method on it and we will provide this increment button to it. Okay, now with this this will simulate a click on the increment button friends. Now what should happen friends, we have to we again find the count value uh, after click. Okay, now again how we'll do this, we will just parse int and the count div dot text content. Okay, so now we have this after value, and we will then again friend assert. Okay, now what we will assert, we will assert that uh, uh, counter value after click should be equal to be, how much it should be friends, it should be count value before click and plus 1. Okay, so this should be followed. Okay, okay, let's see our test passes or not. And friends, as you can see, our test passed. So two, as you can see, we had two tests. Okay, so render counter component without breaking, that also passed, and increment the value by 1 when increment button is clicked. Okay, now suppose friend, what's the benefit of testing this in this way or not depending on the implementation. So suppose friends, here in the state we have used this in our application, our counter default value is 0 friends. So suppose someone or from any end user or anyone, suppose it tells us that we need the default value to be 2. So when the default value is set to 2, the test should not start breaking friends. Okay, so so this is the benefit of testing our component without the implementation details. Okay, so I hope you got the idea that how we can use our React testing library and Jest to test our React application. Okay, so friends, just to summarize, with Jest, what we are able to do with Jest, we are able to run our test cases and assert. Okay, we are able to assert, and also we can do mocking of dependent functions, but that we can learn later. I will teach that in next video. Okay, and also with React testing library, you can now that with React testing library we are able to uh, uh, render our components in just environment or testing environment, and then we can simulate user actions by finding the DOM nodes. Okay, so this was the this is how we test, friends. So I hope you like this video. So if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, thank you.